Then I can go back up here, and I can rerun it. And now you see you go extinct less often. So I think the numbers I have now are good numbers. So I'll correct the numbers in the text to reflect these new numbers. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not dividing. I'm changing the numbers. I'm changing B2 to 0.1 instead of 0.2. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the life table. Yeah, I'm going to change the numbers in the life table to get to make it more reasonable over 100 runs to get extinction sometimes and not sometimes for both cases. So you got to play around and see what is because in some cases it may be that if the population birth rates are relatively high, it won't go extinct, and it's not an interesting problem. Yeah. Question? Oh, yeah. So in order to build the second level so that you can run it many times, Nova has this facility where what you do is you select the first level and you pull it out like that. This is your model at the lower level, and then you go in here and you turn it into a time clock. And so to create the second level is very simple, but we've never really shown you how to do it. So hence, you know how to build this level, and at this level, you could sit here and you can go capital load, and you could run it 1,000 times like this, and each time you could write down the number of times the population went extinct. What's going on here? It's not going extinct. Let's just see. Check what I've got over here. Yeah, but it should go extinct. I mean, it shouldn't be going extinct all the time. B3 is equal to 25. Oh, my total time thing's going to 1,000. Okay, yeah. Okay, so my total time's going to 1,000, right? Okay, there. So I could sit here, and I could, do this 1,000 times. Or I could build the second part and run it 1,000 times. So that's the difference. So you only know how to do the first part and not the second part. The second part is really, really simple. But it's just some students won't get it right, and I don't want them not to be able to do the assignment because it doesn't work for them. Yeah. Well, the second level is the Monte Carlo level, and it does 1,000 runs for you. And then when you get this table, you've got to save that table. So to save the table, you go here, Save Data. You give it a name. It's a CSV file. You can read it in Excel, and you can look at it in Excel, and you can manipulate it in Excel. But basically what you want to do in Excel is you want to count the proportion of times that you get to 100 in extinct time to extinction. Because if time to extinction is 100, it means it doesn't go extinct. If time to extinction is less than 100, it means on the time interval 100, it went extinct before it got to 100. Yeah. Yeah, so you can do it here. You saw in that other model that I had a histogram. Let me just file, recent files. Let's see. So I've got it. Okay, so open project. Nova models. Okay, so let me go, let me open this other, and let me go here. So there's something called extinction stats. Where is it? Yeah, this model. Okay, so I'm going to open this model. So in this model here, So this is a simple population dynamics model that's got no age structure. So it's basically the model, it's the same as what we've been doing, except it's got no age structure. So instead of counting the total population, we calculate it directly. And then at this level, what we do is we both got the table over here, but we've also got a histogram. So we can make a histogram of how many times extinction is between 0. This is the number of runs out of 1,000 that extinction was before time 100. I can't remember exactly what we did here. But anyway, you have this thing called a histogram. And you can set up a histogram into 10 bins, bucket count. The lowest is 0, the highest is 1,000. And this is a slightly more complicated model because it also calculates some averages, but we're not too interested in those averages. And there's a different thing in the table here. But there's this histogram tool. So for example, if you go to components, or I think it's in plugins. If you go to plugins here, net agent viewer, where is it? Cascade plugin, form, graph plugin, histogram plugin, okay? So you go here. So another histogram. And then if you go in here, you've got to decide what data is it that you're feeding into each of these. It's a little bit complicated, so you've got to learn how to do it. Yeah, well, but it's too crude. I mean, you can, if you use this instead of Excel, yeah, you could. Actually, it's not too crude because you could actually have two buckets. You just have a bucket in which time to extinction is less than 100 times. I mean, there are different things you can do, yeah. You can work it out. If you do that, then obviously you'll get a very good grade if you work out something. But it's just up to you. But we're not teaching you how to manipulate this tool. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this work set and for this exercise. As I said, I'm going to change the numbers in the work set a little bit so they'll reflect the numbers that we've been using now because that seems to run much better. And so I'll go into the work set and I'll just change a couple of things there. And so just make sure you've got the latest versions when you go to VSpace. Okay, so everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.